Hello guys, welcome to our second session on machine learning. Meanwhile, we are waiting for the participant to join, and meanwhile you can ask your questions. Whatever you have doubts from previous session, you can go for. Sujit, are you there? Sujit, I think our TA is our speaker. Any of the TA or speaker? Okay, Mr. Gaurav is here.
Yes, I am here. Sujit is also, I think, there, but maybe he will join in a while.
Yeah, he just about. Okay, guys, you can ask now.
Hello.
Yes, you can ask. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Sir. Actually, I am on other place, so I can join late today. Hello,
Means?
sir. I am not at the my home actually. I am out of the home, so I can join today for today late.
Yeah, but if you registered for this, I think you can
Okay,
join.
let Prayag answer that, Gaurav. Anything related to joining or anything else other than the course, you are not answerable, and the PGNC Council is answerable for that.
Nitish, if you are free, you can join the course. Otherwise, you can get the recordings later on.
Okay. I am in any time now.
Yes, you will get the recording. You can watch anytime. Guys, please ask questions only related to the session which Sujit has covered yesterday on the previous session. So please go ahead if you have any doubts.
Okay,
Regarding
thank you.
joining and all, you can ask in the Slack channel.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, please go ahead if you have any query. Sujit, there is a question in the chat box. How can I print a reversed string after using reversed in bracket string?
You could call it in a variable and just use the print command as we printed all the other things. Okay, and one more thing, Prayag, after today's lecture, okay, maybe you can create a poll and okay, I create a poll on the Slack maybe right now. So it will just to take feedback. So it is like the things that I'm covering today and I covered day before yesterday. The question should be, were you familiar with all the concepts and every implementation? So the options will be yes, no, and third will be somewhat. So if you were completely familiar with it and you did not do anything new, so you just click on no. If you did, you were not familiar with it, you learned it for the first time, go for yes, and then somewhat is like for you knew it and somewhat you do not knew it. So like you knew it in some other languages, but you knew it, got the concept here in these languages.
Okay, you can personally message me the questions and there are suggestive options. Then I will create a poll in the Slack channel.
Just a simple poll. So you can just create it with like course
Okay.
covered today and day before yesterday.
Okay.
Was it new? Yes, no, somewhat. That's it.
Okay.
So I just want to see how many beginners are here in that sense. You know, I mean, I understand that you guys have said that they are very much beginners. So I just want to take like out of 190 students, how many are, because this will help me for my future lectures.
Okay.
Are you posting it live on YouTube?
Actually, we don't want to upload it later. That's why it is live, but it is private completely. So we'll just provide the links later on. Okay, Sujit, you can go ahead with the today's session. I think there is no question.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So just for the TS, so Gaurav is here, Gyaneshwar and Vishal, are you guys here as well? So
Yeah.
yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, so I will. So I hope that everybody has got received today's content as well. But since we were left with some of the content from day before yesterday, we'll try to cover that. So I think we covered till dictionary, if I'm correct. So we'll go with dictionary methods. Enable me the sharing rights, please. Can you enable this sharing rights for me, PGNC Council? I hope you are able to see the screens here. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So we did cover dictionary last time. So I'll just quickly run through the just a bit of a dictionary concept here and then go ahead. So dictionary is an unordered collection of items, while other compound data types have only values as an element. A dictionary has a key and a value pair that I told you. That if you want to access any items from the dictionary, you will have to use it as a key and call it from the key, not from the index value. Okay. So you define it like this: my dictionary, which is different from the set. If you are defining a set, you'll have to use the word term set. So my dict one, then you have one is the key, ML is the values, two and the AI. Okay. Similarly, mixed keys is name and the John, and then one with the list ABC and XYZ. Okay.
Someone said about font size.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I hope it is perfect now. So just please keep checking the chat and let me know that if there is something, and you guys keep on replying to that. So I hope this font size is sufficient for everybody now. So then we have, so you can also create empty dictionary using the dict keyword, and then you can create a dict with a list of tuples as well. So you all have this sheet with you from the last time. You can open that and you can keep working on this one. Then you have my dict with the name. So name is the key, John is the value, then age key, address key, education key, and then so my dict age. So age you got the value as 35. You can update a specific values name. So name, education, updated with Williams and PhD. It got with John, replacing John, and education with MTech with the PhD. Dictionary methods will be the courses. So this is sorry. So the dictionary methods are so it is a different method that you are going to use in order to get the values from with respect to the keys, as I have just discussed with you, the keys and the values. So you're using the courses and then you're using the from keys. So the keys you're using here are the ML, AI, deep learning. So if I go up and you see this dictionaries, so this dictionary, okay, so you are just going to return the courses which are you referring to the values. So keys, ML, AI, and deep learning that you are getting the values. Then you have the course.keys. So you have created the course which is your keys are the ML, AI, and deep learning. Then course values are 000 because there's nothing in it. Similarly, creating a new dictionary with only pairs where the value is larger than 2. This is also very important dictionary when probably when I think it might relate to you in your courses, which is if you're looking at a data set, let's say you have different participants data set. So what you're doing is you're trying to create a way in order to call the data set sequentially into your training model and then train your model over it. So let's say that you have 5 different sessions of data set. Session can be different, so like collected at different time, and then inside every session you can have different subjects and their respective data on it. So you can create a data set with sessions, which is session 1, session 2, session. So inside the session they can be subject and their values. So this will be useful when you have a cumulative data set and you are going to call it in order to make it, calling up the dictionary and the keys to make it trainer test. It can be very useful in those scenarios. So dict comprehension, so creating a new dictionary with only pairs where the value is larger than 2. So A is equal to A1, B corresponding to 2, C corresponding to 3, and D corresponding to 4. So then there is a new dictionary from K to V. For K and V in dictionary.items, so you are referring to items now, not keys. If I'm referring to keys, then it will be D.keys. If value is greater than 2. So you are trying to filter out all the values where it is greater than 2. So there should be only these two values. So we got this new dictionary. Okay, maybe if you are here and you're working on the same sheet, please try to write just change this value to maybe 1 and see if you are able to get another values or not, and just use it to 3 and see, or maybe just reverse it and try to, so just try it around so that you understand every single part of it. Okay. Also, last time people said that I was going fast. So at any time that you want me to just stop, just tell it to the TAs. They are looking at your chat. I will just look at that and stop for a moment for you to recollect all the process that we have covered. So we can also perform operation on the key value pairs, which is A, B, C, D, and E, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, A, B, C, D, E are the keys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the items. So you can do the operations here. So see, for example, here so here you're doing is you're using the C value and you're multiplying it by 2 for K and B in items. In D.items, the value is greater than 2. So you're only referring it to the value which are greater than 2. So there will be 3, 4, and 5. Then multiplying it by 2, so it will be 6, 8, and 10. And then we print it. So we got it. Then you can also again try to do it yourself. You can just manipulate it a bit and see if you are able to get the value change. Okay. So NumPy, so now we are coming to the specific data science libraries now. So we use, okay. So NumPy is, so if somebody has already worked in MATLAB or something, so you understand in MATLAB everything is generally in matrices. So here in NumPy is generally what you use for. So even if you're trying to import something from MATLAB into your math file into your Python, you can actually use two toolboxes, which is SciPy and NumPy, to do all the operations on it. So NumPy is going to be very useful for any operations that you are going to use, because it will deal with all the matrices and its operations on it. Okay. So here we have NumPy. So you can just import NumPy and you can use NumPy every time. As NP is just for a shorter form. For example, I can say, I will make all the libraries or something with just say in the name of Sujit or Sujit Roy, and this I am trying to import Sujit Roy as SR, so that I just need to use it, symbolic representation for the smaller name every time. So I'm importing NumPy as NP. So every time I call the any method with the NP, there can be different. I can use just NP over it, not NumPy. If I would not have used NP here, I would just be calling NumPy here. Okay. So import NumPy as NP, and I'm trying to create an array here. And array is 3, 6, 9, 12. So okay. So 3, 6, 9, 12. So I just created an array which is 3, 6, 9, and 12. So the array is the output here. So let's see. So you will, so this is for importing. If you don't, I think generally people will have. If you don't have it, you will have to install it. So let me drop in your chat if you are unable to do this, so that if you, I see that you have basic installation or not.
Sujit,
Please.
uh, here NP is just you are renaming
Yeah.
numpy by NP, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So there is no change. So it is similar, right? So what I'm doing is numpy can be long, right? So I'm just trying to make it smaller, two keys. So like NP, that's it. Numpy is NP. Similarly, we will see many other coming up as well. Let's say that I'm trying to import SciPy, so I can import SciPy as SP. Or I'm trying to use any model, let's say TensorFlow, so I can import TensorFlow as TF. It's just like that. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Right. So then here we have done the design the array. I think everybody understand what array is. I don't think I need to tell you what array is. So this is 1D array, obviously, and so here we have then operations using numpy. So people who are so this is simple matrix operation that we have done in class 10th or 9th, I don't know, in our books. So we just the same operations happens here, and you can, if you're familiar with MATLAB or something, then you already by default knows these things. So here is np.once, so it is similar to MATLAB as well. So you're just calling the methods of numpy. So let me just give you wait. So there are various things that you can do with numpy, and here is the link if somebody if you guys are more interested into getting to one. So the link I've dropped in the chat. So this is for beginners in understanding numpy, what all you can do, uh, what all you can do with all of these values. Okay. So np.once, and then it is 4 by 3, and then you can create with the required shape, which is 1 1 1. So it is 4, which is your rows, and 3 is the column. So first value represents the rows, and the second value represents the columns. Okay. Then you have np.once 4, so it will just create like just one, because you have given one parameter, so it will be one dimensional. So new array is equal to y plus 1. So it will just adding 1 to the value, so you are now 2. Okay. This is a new array. Here, then similarly, you have np.diagonal. You can just placing the values in the diagonal. So x is equal to np.diagonal 3 6 9 12. You are filling up all the values, other values with 0, and just filling up with diagonal here. Okay. Then comparisons, what you are doing, trying to compare the two matrices here. So all these methods are also there in the links, or actually if you want to do more of the research, maybe you can just go ahead and maybe you will be able to create very easily with numpy methods, and they will list you the important methods. Okay. Or additionally, even if you use spider, in the console, and you try to type it, it will give you suggestions in order to tell you that these methods are there with it or not. So np.array 3 6 9 12 is this is the one array, and the second array is 5 2 2 4. So we are trying to say that are these arrays equal? So I just use np.array equal ab. It will return a boolean which is false. We can generate sine, log, or other functions using numpy as well. So let's say x is equal to np.arrange 10, and then np.log x, and then so here you got the values. Okay. Then similarly np.sin x and np.exponential. If we want to do the statistics with numpy, and I'll just take a break after just 2 more topics, and then we can present those before we move to next one, because we are going to use these in the next today's another part, which is data plotting and other stuff. So numpy.array and so I'm using x and y with 3 6 9 12, and y 5 10 15 12 20, and we're trying to find the mean. So x When we are calling the x dot mean, we have got the mean for the x. Similarly, if you want the mean for the y, you can just call. Okay, you got y dot mean as well. Then you have np dot mean x, so you have 7.5. You can call it by this method. So just calling. So if it is a numpy matrix, you can just use the function here np dot mean and put the values where you want to calculate it as well. Similarly, if you want to calculate the median, it will be similar np dot median. You want to calculate the standard deviation, you can calculate the standard deviation by simple STD. So whatever symbolism that we use generally, you can just use it as a method, and you can call those onto the different arrays that you have and matrices as well. In shape, you can. So this is another thing that will be very useful in any data science. Sometimes you will be required. So sometime when you start deep learning methods or something, it will be you will be given in the description that this method accepts 4D array, this method accepts 3D array, this method accepts 5D array. So many times you will have to manipulate the shapes and sizes of the arrays. So sometimes it will say that you need to show the first dimension as the batch size, second dimension as the number of rows, third dimension as the number of columns, fourth dimension as the depth, and fifth to be fifth dimension can be so fourth dimension can be color and fifth can be the depth. So if you are doing for a 3D image or something, trying to train a 3D image using a machine learning network or deep learning network. So we have np dot array here. So what we are trying to do here is just flattening array. So you have 3, 6, 9, 5, 10, 15. So just making the array of it. So it will be just like 3, 6, 9 and 5, 10, 15. You want to open them up and just make it in a single go. So you will just use x.travel and it will just unlock it. So as soon as you appear it here, similarly it will be just like here 3, 6, 9, 5, 10, 15. Okay, so it's like spreading them up. Similarly, we have reshape. So reshape is so to change the shape of the array. So it always remember the dimensions should be the dimension should correspond to what dimension you're going to change. If there are very much if there are difference in it, it will not be able to do that. So x dot reshape. So again, you just reshape these values into 2 by 3. So see here you have the 6 values. So 2 by 3 is possible, or 3 by 2 is possible as well. And then I can show you the shape will change. So now you will have 3 rows and 2 columns. You got it, right? And if I try to make something odd with it, let's say I put 4 here. So now total number of elements need to be 8, right? So it will give me an error. Cannot reshape because the array of size 6 into 4 by 2, it cannot be done. Okay, so just need to go back and do it in 2 by 3. Similarly, I want to insert a particular element for, so we all remember our simple matrices class. So this, if I start, if this is a matrix A, then this will be A00, this will be A01, this will be A02, this will be A10, A11, and A12. Okay. So if we look at this thing and we want to replace x01 with 250, so 0 will be this one, and 1 is, so 0 is the row, 1 is the column. So 0th row, first column, so which is this one. It will replace this with 250. And here we got 250. Okay. You can also change it to something else. If I change it to 0, 2, it will be on the 9th one, correct? See? If I change it, just say 1 by 2, then it will be first row and second column. Got it? 25 here. Okay. Then you can resize an array, which is x is equal to np dot arrange it, and then you can just use the shape of the array, which is 8 comma, and then you can again use the resize array, which is here resize by 12 size, so you have 12 here. It will just fill up the values with 0. Now transpose, we all know the transpose, so it is just changing the dimension. So if I take the transpose, so let's say that I made a matrix of np dot ones, which is by 1, 5 by 4. If I take a transpose of it, it would be 4 by 5. So we got the shape of 5 by 4, and then now we are doing the transpose here. So we got 4 by 5. If we make a matrix of say 6 by 4, the shape of the matrix will be 6 by 4, and if I do the transpose, it will be 4 by 6. Okay. Now, so this was with transpose in the matrices. Now the data sorting. So if you want to sort the data along an axis, how are we going to do that? So we are going to use the arrays, and then we are going to use the sort function for it. So we have used the sort before as well to sort the list and other stuff. So we will be looking at it. So 15, 10, and 2, 6, 9, and 3. So it will sort this array. So how it will be? So it will be 2, 10, and 15, and 3, 6, and 9. Axis is 1. If axis is 2, it will be along the column. Arguments of a function. So, okay, wait 1 second. There are so many questions. Okay, I'll just take a 2 minutes pause for other people who are doing it. So what is x is equal to 1? So axis 1 represents the column, axis equal to 0 represents the rows. As I just discussed it, 0 and 1. How to know where should we use NP and where to not? NP can NumPy can be used anywhere we are dealing with matrices or arrays. Transpose of 1D array. It's very basic. I just told you that the rows becomes column, column becomes rows. It's simple transpose.
Sujit,
How we got
when I'm
array in
inserting an element,
Uh-huh.
when I'm
Go
inserting
ahead.
an element like x, 0, 1 equals to 250, and x, I'm printing x, then it is telling that x is not defined.
So X needs to be defined before that, right? So you need to make a matrix first. So I think either you have deleted or changed the X in somehow. So you can just create, just let's say that, make an array like this one, okay? So just use this one, or make an array here, or you just reshape it and then put the value 0, 1. It is giving you the value, it is not defined because X is not there. You know, it's simple, as I know that you know MATLAB. So if a variable is not already stored in mat file, you cannot access that, right? It's the same thing. So you will have to.
It is already stored and I'm using the same.
No, it is not possible. I just did it in front of you. So your voice is breaking, Prayag. I'm so sorry. I can't understand your voice. I can't hear you. Your voice is breaking. Hello?
Yes,
Yeah, can you speak again? Your voice was breaking so much.
I'm saying x is defined Like in the previous lines, it is running very well. In the line 98, it is working as same, but just in line 103, it is not running. It is saying that it is not defined.
So if my x is there, then x of 1 by 2 is done. I can change the value. So 0 comma 2, it will apply this value to the second one. It should change 2 to 30. It is happening, right?
Yeah,
Just see that if you're
it's
not
happening.
deleting the variable somehow. Okay, so now I'll move ahead. Should I? Everybody is fine with it. I'm not able to reshape the array using x dot reshape. Did you check for your dimensions? Please check for your dimension. If you're trying to reshape something with the not what error you are getting. You can paste your error here as well. I have shown you how to reshape it and what the conditions should be. If the values are going out of bounds or less values, it cannot happen. Okay, so now I'll move ahead. The time is of patience here. So, oh God, this 30 minutes in this one only. So, I will try to go a bit faster, a bit. Otherwise, we'll not be able to cover a full syllabus in 15 lectures. I will not try to cover a whole in order to rush, but you can stop me. But I'm trying to cover this topic because they are very basic. And once you start doing it in the real time, you will get very much clear with the practice. Actually, I think you're hearing it for the first time. That's why you might be confused with it or something. As soon as we go ahead and we practice on it, it will be much easier. Okay, somebody asking, you're asking that it's a 4 by 3 array and error is cannot reshape array 12 into 2 by 2. We're trying to convert an array of 12 elements into 4 elements. You need to delete that first, not some of their deletions. I told you, like I have been very clear on this thing that you have to have count of the elements. 6 elements can be done in 2 or 3, right? 1 by 6, 2 by 3, 3 by 2. You need to see all the permutation and combination. By this, you can make a pair of 2D matrix. X is equal to 0. What does it mean? I just explained. I think TS, you can take the answers here because I think maybe guys, if you are just, go with the class, it would be good because sometimes I feel like some people might be sleeping or something. So I told you that 1 is for, you have 1 is for column and 0 is for rows. Okay. So here we have augmentation of augments of a function. So we define a function like this in Python, which is we start by the term called def definition, and this is the function name, which is wish, and then these are the arguments, which is there are 2 arguments. One is name and the other one is messages. Okay. So what you're trying to do here is trying to print the same thing that we did in the first line, that is print hello world, which was looking to this. So print hello of 0 and 1 in the format of name and message. So name and message will be called by this function. So when I just call up the function and put the variables like this, so the first name becomes the name and the second becomes the message. Okay. So wish students good evening. So it will print this thing. Okay. So now let's say I do this thing, which is I call up the function. The first parameter is the name. Okay. So first parameter is the name, and the second parameter becomes let's say something else. Okay. Message is hi. Okay, and then I call this function again, so it should print hello sr hi. Okay, so this is how a function is defined. I just repeat it for your purpose. Okay, so this is for keyword for defining a function, which is def. This is the function name. These are your arguments. So the first argument, second argument. So you define it by the, so whenever you are trying to do something with the term here, name, it will be a call up by this variable and will give you the output. So it is just doing the output from here. In the function we generally use in Python is return function as well, but we'll cover that. So keywords argument, we should use keywords if you want to handle name arguments into a function. So diff way, again, I am defining a function with keywords. And again, if keywords print name and message. Again, we have a name and then message. This is another way of defining it for the text. And then again, we have same thing. Again, if you want to do something given argument. So like you already have given these arguments to this definition. That's why you are using this. So you can also do the same thing that I did before, is just play around with it in changing the messages. Okay. Then you have arbitrary arguments. So sometimes we don't know in advance, that's true, that advance the number of arguments that will be passed into a function. So Python allows us to handle this kind of situation through the function calls with an arbitrary number of the arguments. So again, I defined a function with names. So print names. So I can go for as many names as possible. So for name in names, print hello, and then format name. I can do for which John, Williams, Abhinav. So now you can see that here I was just defining this thing, but I'm passing 3 arguments here. So you can pass as many arguments as possible if you do not know how many arguments are going to be there in this definition. Now recursion. The recursion is a bit, recursion is very important topics in the in data structures actually. So I'll just give you a very brief here because it can be tricky. So recursion can be simple. If I say it very simply, it is calling one function again and again, again and again, again and again in a recursive step. So for example, let's say it's like the way you use for loop, right? So you're just using for I in range of something, and then you're using I again and again, again and again as a value. Okay. So let's say that you wanted to print a factorial. Okay. So the way we can write factorial can be a long method as well, where you define it by A, B, and C, and then you can use those values to swap in each other and then go ahead. Or what we can do is we can look at the base function of a factorial. So what is a factorial? So it's like factorial you must all know. Okay, so 0 factorial. So now you will be calculating, like say the 5 factorial, so it will be 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1, right? So what is the base here? So base is again 1, and then you're trying to multiply it with the next number. So what you're trying is whatever number is given. So you want to calculate the factorial of that number and then subtracting it with the next one. So these two are very important. Other things are getting added on. So if I keep on function calling with this variable, so let's say I just defined this thing, which is n. N is your, you want to find a factorial of n number, okay? So you define n, and then n returns. So that function will return n multiplied by n minus 1. Now, if I call this function multiple times, it will keep on going till it reaches to 0, right? So before 0. So you go here. So you see, return 1 if n is equal to 1. If n is equal to 1, return 1. Else n into factorial n minus 1. So now how this function is going to work is every time you find the n here, so it is 10. So n reached here. So the value of n is 10 here. So it reached here because it is not equal to 1. Okay, so it will be 10 here. So 10 multiplied by factorial of n minus 1. So again, 10 multiplied by n minus 1 will be 9 now. 10 multiplied by 9. Then again, this will go into 9 will go into here and become the 9, and then it will be 8. So 10 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 8. The next step, 10 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 7. Similarly, go into 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it gives you the output. Okay. So similarly, if I just go on doing that, and you will be able to do it. Okay. It is like calling the function again and again. Now, file handling. So this is to open up a specific file or something. We are going to just finish up this thing, the final topic of the day one. So file handling is opening a file, read or write operation, or closing the file. These things you want to do with Python, so you can do that. So for opening a file, you open a specific file name with the text, so it will open it. Then you have different file modes, which is you can R for reading, W for writing, X for creation if the file does not exist or something, A for appending, then T for the text mode, B for the binary mode, and this for updating the file. Okay, so this is for close the open file. Then you can open a new file and read from the file. Then again open a file and write into a file. Similarly, you can open a file, write into it by this method as well, and you can write whatever you want to write, and you can update the file and then close it. Then again you can open the file and read it. Okay. So this is with the read write operation, and by this we finish off the day one of the session. Now we'll move to day two. So now we come to the very important part, which will be covered today and next day as well, which is very important, the visualization of the data. So we will be I will be using data set. So you have the data set already given on the Slack and the notebook as well. So I would expect you to download that data set as well as the Excel sheet. Sorry, that's Excel sheet and the notebook, the Python notebook. Okay, just download that and then we go for it. I'll just wait for, it is 3:36 here, so I'll wait for 3:40 and then we go for it. So you have 3 minutes. You can convert that into your reason. So CSV file is a comma separated value file. Dataset is on the Slack. Can you point it out, lecture material, Prayag, or somebody pin it? Okay, you have pinned it already. Please share the live YouTube video link. The reply when join Zoom. So I expect everybody has it now. PGNC Council, you can at least reply in order to say that if you guys have it, then I can go ahead, so that I know that everybody will have it now.
Guys, few of you please reply. You can unmute yourself and reply, at least few people.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have the data set.
Okay, thanks, Divya. Anybody
Yeah,
else?
in the chat.
Other people
Yeah,
are
we can go
sleeping?
ahead. People are replying in the chat box, man.
Okay. I thought it's your guys' dinner time, isn't it? So I thought many people are off.
Yes, you can go ahead, please.
Okay. Right. So now comes the interesting part. So we guys can play around with this one, and this will be so you guys can be from different courses, but I expect that everybody needs to make a good presentation and we generally use graphs all the time to represent something. So this session will be used for representing the graph and how the data can be visualized. You guys all can see my screen as well, IITK Visualization Pandas, and you have the Jupyter notebook to yourself. So we are going to, for generally plotting up, we use matplotlib. It is by MATLAB combination with Python. So you have matplotlib plot library for creating static, animated, and interactive visualization in the Python programming language. For if you don't have it, you can just use the command which is pip install matplotlib, and it will install it here. Okay. So let's try. If many of you fail, then you don't have it. If you have it, then you can install it. Okay. So let's say that you have import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, and we have this x value given as this, y value given as this. So that's you want to just plot x comma y. So 3, 5, 6, 10, 9, 15, 12, 20, and you want to just show the plot. Okay, you got this plot. We use Seaborn also for plotting. What is the difference between matplotlib and Seaborn? They are different libraries, bro. So sorry, they are the different libraries. So you can use Seaborn, you can use PyPlot, you can use matplotlib. They're going to be different library. It depends which one you want to use. Sometimes their visualization can be a bit different. Something can be very fancy, some will have very fancy plots, some will have basic plots. So I'm just going to explain you the fundamental concept, how to use them. All of them can be used similarly. Okay. PyPlot is not matplotlib. No, it is it's inside matplotlib, the method of matplotlib. So you are using matplotlib.pyplot as plt, same. So we're just short forming the name here. So I just did the plot. Everybody has this plot now on their computer. Just reply okay please, or just say yes by unmuting yourself quickly.
Yes,
and then
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Or yeah, you can use the emoticons on the Zoom as well by thumbs up, and I will come to know that everybody has it. Perfect. So everybody has matplotlib now. So you can use any plotting tools out there, but the fundamental concept remains the same for all of them. Okay. So parameters. So this function accepts the parameters that enable us to set axes, scales, and format the graphs. These parameters are mentioned below. So let's see. We will be going for all the parameters that we will be having for the different plotting. So plot x comma y. So x and y are the default line style and the color. Then plot dot axis is x minimum, x maximum, y minimum, y maximum. So it can scale the x-axis and y-axis from minimum to maximum values. Plot dot x comma x comma y, color green. So you are defining a color here. Marker O with a style marker, which is O. You might have used it in Excel as well as in MATLAB. You have different. You can do it with star, and you can do it with diamonds and other stuff. Line style dashed. So how the line should appear. Then line width 2. Marker size. What is the size of that dots that you're going to use? That's the size of this one, and the line width is the width. Okay. So x and y are coordinates that we are going to use to explain. Circular markers of size 12 that we are using, and the green color line with this style of width 2. So this all can be defined. Then plot.x label defines the x-axis label, which is the x-axis. The y label gives the y-axis. And then, so this is like sample line. So you can just use x, y and label. So plot sample line will be displayed as a legend. So we use red, green, and other stuff as a legend. So we will just see that in the example, how it all goes through. So we'll just import the matplot. We have already imported it, so we don't need to import it again, but I just kept it for the purpose if you just want to go ahead up and down. So we define one thing is that year. Second is the run of Rohit Sharma, and the second, Rohit Sharma it is, right? Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. Sorry. So Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. Sorry, I'm not much of a cricket fan. So Rohit Sharma and then Virat Kohli. So it is, we are just showing the number of runs in 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, goes with 450. So there are different values, right? So now you want to plot year versus the Rohit runs, again year versus the Virat runs. So can somebody unmute yourself and quickly tell me that year will present on which axis, X or Y?
X.
Okay. And then Rohit runs will be on Y. It is similar, same philosophy that we were going with the matrices as well. Okay. Color of this plot will be orange. Label will be with the Rohit, and the line width is 5, which is the width of this one. Then similarly, this Virat runs, and then it will going with the color G, which is green. Label Virat and line width is 5. You can change these values anyway. Okay. So plot.x label will be the years because we are plotting in years, and y label is the run scored. And then just title of the plot. So we are just using plot.title, run scored by Virat and Virat and Rohit, and then you have plot.legend and the plot.show. We're calling up the legend and the show. The show is to display the plot. If you don't call it a show, it can be called as an object function as well. Sorry, you can call it an object as well, not function. So here we have, when we do this, we see the plot. So you have the years and you have the run score. I don't like the color green. I'll change it to blue. Okay, so here we have the blue, and then you have the orange as well. And then you can change the line width as well. You can try it on yourself. Okay, so everybody might have been able to get it. So if you want to plot anything now, X versus Y, you can easily do this. Similarly, we can do with the line formatting, as we have learned just by dot and the dash. So we can just do the same thing, which is year versus with Rohit. Orange label, everything is same except one thing, which is marker. We have initiated the marker with 0, and the marker size is 12. And then again, it's Virat and the line width. Then line style is dashed. In the previous, we did not define any line style, which is automatically the connector line. The line style is dashed, the marker is O, and the marker size we are giving it to 12. So only for Virat runs, which is of the green color, these properties will be applied, which is dashed, O, and marker size. So once we have the X label and the Y label, which is run score, we can see that the run scored by Virat and Rohit. And it will be, you see here. So as we only have the dash and the O, O we have in the common, so dash is only applied in the green one, so which is Virat one. Okay. You can plot multiple figures as well. So using subplots, so in a simple plot, you can have 2 plots, 3 plots, 4 plots, any number of plots you want. Okay, in the form of grid as well. So you just want to do you can do your definition here, which is create a plot. So this definition is for creating a sine function and a cos function. So it is returning that, and then you have arrange 0, 5, 0, and 0.01. So plot.figure, you are using a subplot, grid, and the plot size. Again, subplot, plot, and then you're calling the show function. So one will be represented with B with blue color and the board line, and the other will be represented with red color and the dashed line. Okay. So now we have both the graphs in the same window. So you can do also like 4 plots or 5 plots into one as well. So this is for the plotting. Now let's come to the pandas for handling data in the Python. Okay, so this is going to be useful. So at any point you will collect some data, maybe in your PhD or master's or anywhere. So anywhere you want to apply these machine learning techniques, you will need to collect data and implement it. Okay, so you will get data in different formats. For example, you can get data in CSV. I'm just repeating everything. You can maybe write it down. It might not be written here. So it can be in CSV, it can be in XLX, it can be in the pandas file itself, it can be in mat file, or it can be in maybe it can be in text or something, right? So you want to read the data and structure the data so you can understand the data. And so the easiest form of reading any data that we have seen over the years is in Excel, isn't it? So if we have a data presented in Excel, we can easily differentiate by the rows and columns what means what and what data represent to what. So this is very important now here. So pandas is a similar tool that we use in data science to look at the data and play with it. So you can install the pandas by just using again pip install pandas in the Anaconda prompt. Once you have it, you can try to import pandas. If you don't get an error, then it means that it is installed. So so maybe just install it and just click on the thumbs up so that I can know everybody has done it, or just reply in messages. Okay, one guy done. Two done. I'm giving a couple of minutes. Okay.
It is giving error.
Error? Error of what?
File not found error.
Which file not found?
This one.
Oh, don't try to access the file yet, darling. Okay. So it will come up. It will come up. We just need to. I think you might have entered the wrong path. So just try to see that if your pandas is installed, then we will move ahead. So I think everybody has done it. I'll move ahead. So we have imported the pandas as PD. Now this is the file that we are trying to read, which is weather.csv. Okay. So this is the file that you have downloaded from the Slack right now. So just go to that file and see the address file of that. Okay. So what you can do is to find the address of that file is just go to that file and right click on that one. So let's say, can you see my folder here? Downloads folder? No, I should not show it. It's recording, but
yes, sir, it's visible.
okay. So you can go to any file and you can just right click on it. Okay, and just go properties, and here you comes with, in the details you will have the folder path where it is. Okay, either you can do that or it is here as well in location. So just copy it by how you copy. Just copy it and paste it here till the downloads used by the /. So this is my address of the file. Okay, so this is my address of the file. See users, this is the user, whatever user is this, and then downloads. Okay, so in the downloads you have this file called as weather.csv. Now if you do it, it should read the file and give you something like this. Does it work?
Yes, sir.
Okay. For everyone?
Yep.
Okay. Right. So let's go ahead. So now we have, so now you look at this data set. So this, you can open that data set even in Excel. That CSV file, it can open in Excel. So you will see that the column names are given here, which is outlook, temperature, humidity, windy, and flight. So this is very common example that you'll come across, which is very easy to understand. That's why we are using it. In the coming sessions, actually the assignment that I will give you will be a very good data set. Preferably, I will be using AIBL data set. It's for Alzheimer. And then you will do some practice on that data set for visualization. And then after that, actually, the takeaway will be I'll give you a script. And just by using that script, you will be able to generate all sorts of plot that possible just by running that line. Okay. So that's like Gordon Ramsay's cookbook for making a good burger. So let's go here. So we have looked at the column name, which is outlook, temperature, humidity, windy, and play. So now what I'm trying to access is in the data. So data is copied here. We have seen that data has been called into the data variable, which is a pandas data frame. So in the data frame, I'm trying to access the column with the name outlook and also the column play, which is equal to yes. So the condition is, it is trying to say that I need to look at the outlook and I need to filter. So this is the filter. So data play equal to, this is a condition that we're using. Okay. So data condition is that we're using is yes here. So if in the column of play we have yes, then show me the outlook of that. Okay. So once I run this, it gives me the outlook wherever it is yes. Okay. Let's change it to no. Change to different rows corresponding to it. Okay, so this is the way you can filter. However, as you have learned in the first class, it can also be it can also be done with the conditional statement that we use, that if the data play equal to no, and then you use the command data outlook. So it will give you that statement as well. Okay, so in the case of shortcut as well, as that can be done with a conditional statement.
Please write that as well.
You want to write that as well? Maybe you can try it out, and then if it doesn't work, then let us ask on the Slack. Something you should do as well, no? So this is a shortcut, but you can use the conditional statement as well. You can use a similar conditional statement to play around with another data set that I will be giving you probably to change up the values as well. So there are two things that I want you to do here. Maybe everybody, you can make a note of it, it's not mentioned here. One is you can make it this thing output with the if-else statement. So if it is there, then it should be called in another. So then let's do that. I want you guys to separate this data frame into two parts. TS, please take a note of this question, and then you can, if people come up with a response, you can answer them. Okay. So I want you to separate this data frame into two parts. Wherever the play is equal to yes, it should be in, say, yes data frame, and wherever it is no, it should be a no data frame. Okay, pretty easy. It should be very easy. So it will just use your concept from the first class of if-else statement and the concept that you have learned here of accessing a specific column and variable assigning. That's it, what you have to do. Okay. Similarly, we have data humidity. So windy, true, it is going to filter out the data. So similarly, we have another data set, which is here. So this data set we have defined here, which is pd.readcsv. C user, and it is with data.csv. I think you can again change the path and call up the data. Now, after looking at the data, it is derived from the first expression there, the question that I gave you. Is it possible to find? Yep. somebody asked, oh, okay, if you're asking and if you're suggesting an answer to the question, can you just reply to the TAs instead of every class member? I want other people to also come up with the ideas. So now, so in this data set, there are a few questions that I want you to answer, and that you can do. You have the solution obviously given below, but I want you to try first and then look at the solution actually. So it will use the same principle that we have used here. Okay, nothing is going to change. Okay, so I just want you to use your bit of a common sense and then try to use this one. Okay, so we have a weather data set of some unknown city here. So we have to find out the answers of following question. Find out the humidity values where the event is rainy. So event is here. So rain, you have rain and then fog, snow and rain, other stuff. Okay. So find out the humidity values where the event is rainy. So you have to find out the values of the humidity. Similarly, find out the EST dates of fog, snow. You have to find out the date which was here when it was fog, snow in the event. Maximum wind degrees, lowest dew point, and average sea level pressure. Okay, so this is that you have to calculate. Now, can you please guys try for 5 minutes and then we can come back to the solutions? Okay.
Sure.
Say yes, no, somebody. I can
Yes,
thumbs
sir.
up. Yeah, okay, thumbs up. Okay, go ahead. Don't cheat, huh? Right, shall we go ahead? I hope everybody has tried. So now let's quickly go ahead with the possible solutions. They can always be used with a conditional statement, but this will be the efficient method to use it. Oh, I need to share. Okay. So firstly, we want to answer this question, which is humidity values when the event is raining. Okay. So we want to look at the column event, and whenever it is equal to raining, we want the value of the humidity. Okay. So if you look at this one, so it is similar to this one. We are calling up the humidity whenever the column of the event is equal to raining. So if for this answer, it will be simple: data humidity and data event is equal to rain. So it will give you all the values of humidity in that one. Okay, very straightforward. How many people were able to do it? So with a thumbs up. Don't lie about it. Okay, great. Now let's go to the next one. EST, same, exact same, no changes. Again, data event, fog, snow. We got the EST as well. Then for finding of the maximum value, we use the data frame max function here. So in the wind degrees, the column of wind degrees, we can use max as well. Okay, dot max. To find min, it will be dot minimum. So similarly, in the column of dew point, we find the minimum. To find the mean of that whole column, you can just use the column name and use the mean as well. Okay. Then you can use the description. So you can use data that describe in order to get ahead with just a second. So data describe, it will give you the details of the data set in terms of columns and other stuff. So it will give you all the details of the data set. Then this, so in this data set, you saw here, right? You saw here that we had some values at NaN. It will be there with all the data set. You might be able to try to find. Generally, not all actually. Generally, there will be some values missing in some of the columns or something. So there can be different approaches to fill up these missing values. One thing you can do always is to drop all the rows which have these values, or you can use mean average, windowed average as well, or you can use the moving average to calculate the missing values. Okay. Now we solve this one, and now we call. So once we can use dot drop NA to drop all the values which were having NA into it, and we will have the data frames without the NaN values here. So to fill NA function with missing values in a particular column, you can say that, okay, in the events where the NA was there, and so NaN was there, you can just fill up that with rains. So wherever it was NA, it will be fill up with rains here. So if you compare it to your data set here, you see here it was NaN in the beginning. It is all converted to the rain. Okay. Fill all the missing value with a particular value. So that's what you did. You can just fill with the particular values in the data.fill NA with you want to replace, and that will be for example, you use rain or something like that. Now creating a data frame, you can always create a data frame as x is equal to, so this is a simple array that you use, and then you can use data is equal to pd.data frame. So pd is the pandas library that we use, pandas as pd. Data frame is the method, and then x we are using, and the columns is numbers. Okay, so number is the column name, and we are using the values which are using the x. So this is how you can create a data frame as well. Creating a data frame from a dictionaries of ND arrays or lists, you can always do that. Additionally, you might find some places what will happen is that you might need to assign the headers. So in data frame, in the data frame language, it will also be called as headers, the column names. So if they are missing, you will need to assign those as well. So you can create a list of it and you can assign them directly to your, so you're just importing the Excel sheet as well as putting up the names onto the headers of that file as well. So you can use that X is equal to player name. So you are defining the names here. So Rohit, Virat, Dhoni, Dhawan. Score is this one. So you have given player name and score, and then you're creating a data frame with player name and the score. So you created a player name and the score. This becomes your header, and this becomes your value. Operations, there are different operations that you can use using pandas data frame. I have also put up a link into this. One second, I have put up also a link into this Slack for the data frame. Okay, for looking at all the different methods of data frame, you can also have a look at that later on. Yes, please go ahead. You were asking a question, somebody. Okay, I'll move ahead.
Sujit,
Yes.
may you please conclude now because we're already exceeding our limit 1 hour.
It was for 1:30, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you mentioned the time as 7 to 9:30
9
or
o'clock.
something like that.
9 o'clock something.
Yes,
think
yes, I had
9
mentioned.
o'clock was there.
I think he is hungry.
Okay, it was 7:30 to 9 on 22nd October.
Yeah. Do you want, you just give me 5 minutes, I will conclude the chapters, okay? And we're done for today. I hope you can hold on by that time. Other people are fine, or do you want to go? Actually, you can just, if you're fine, just give me a thumbs up quickly. Okay. So I'll just quickly go over in 5 minutes. So here you're trying to create a data set with its city and then temperature and the event. So there will be 3 headers and the different values, and you have used the data frame here. So it is same thing, okay? You can use the group by function to group different parts from the data frame. So group by event, for event in event.df, the next event df. So what you're doing here is you are grouping them by their events. So event are here, 3 different types: cloudy, sunny, and rainy. So this will distribute the data frame into cloudy, sunny, and rainy. So here cloudy, rainy, and sunny. Okay. Now you can also get a group for a specific group. So you can get group cloudy, and you can just get the data set which is cloudy as well. So the previous one which I gave you can be done by this one as well. Concatenation and merging data set. So you're splitting and merging them as well. So individual players is player's name and their score. Pandas data frame in players column, which is df is equal to pd.data frame, and then player and their score you are given here. And then you're trying to merge with different data set. So yes, you are using pd.data frame oscillator columns equal to player.score, and then you're added to it. It's replaced it. Yeah. So here you got a replacement. So you can concatenate both of them by just using a square bracket around it. So they will be added vertically over each other. So you have, okay, yeah, sorry. You have one as a df and the other data set as df1. Okay. So you are just trying to concatenate both data sets. So you will just use square bracket with comma values, and then we'll use square bracket df comma df1, and it will concatenate the values. The new data output is combined. Similarly, correcting the indices, we have new data and pd.concatenate. So df underscore ignore index true, and you will have the new data. You can correct the index as well. Okay, and this is, yeah, so this is last 2 topics. So merge, so you can merge 2 different data frames as well. So let's say that you have temperature data frame as you created with the city and temperature, you got it. Then you have humidity data frame, which is city and humidity. So you got that as well. And now you want to merge them. So you have city and humidity and temperature. You want that. So you will use pd.merge in order to temperature df, humidity df, and on what you are trying to merge is city. City will be common and temperature and humidity you got added in the terms of column. There is outer join, so you can use as well pd.merge, which is temperature df, humidity df on city, and have outer join. You can do that. Indexing, again, you can use the indexing, which is pd.data frame, city temperature, and temperature data frame we have got. So it is 15, 16, 17, 18, and then so it is dot location and analog. I thought that I'll explain you in the next class, but we can use it. So see, the way we access the header by the column name, we can also access them by the index values. So what is what is important here is there are two things that you use generally as a placeholder here. So .loc and .iloc. Okay, so these two things that we generally use. So let's say that we have this data frame, which is temperature data frame, and I want to access so this 15. Okay, so that .loc will use the index number given in the data set. So 15. So it is Mumbai and 32. So Mumbai and 32. But iloc will use general index. So you have iloc.2, so it will be 2. So it will be 0, 1, and 2. So it will be Bangalore and 30. Okay. So by indexing values. So this can be used for giving the values, and this can be used for taking the index of the values. Okay. So I think you have all this files with you to play around. I've already given you 2 tasks, which are very easy. Since you have seen all of them now, you can definitely do those tasks on yourself, and then we'll continue the next in the next session. Okay.
Quickly, guys, if you have a short queries, then you can go ahead.
Or you can always post your queries in the Slack. The TAs will be looking at it and they'll respond to you. I'll definitely ask you to try to do the problems, and then we can go ahead with it.
Hopefully, no one is willing to ask any question. So I think we had done for today.
Everyone is hungry.
so let's do okay. So Parag, just please do that poll so that we know that it's for my surety that I'm teaching everything new to them, and it's basics covering whatever they need to know in order to go ahead. Okay. I try to be slow down as I can. If I would try to slow myself more down, I would sleep. So I'll try to, when the more new concepts will come, I'll try to go more slow probably. But they were very basics, and I told you the first concept, and then I went fast on it. Okay.
Anyway, it also depends upon the participants. If they want you to be slow, then they will put some queries, and you must be slow. So I think for the in sessions they will put you slow. Okay, guys. Thank you all for joining us.
Speed is fine. Thank you, guys. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Have a great night. Bye bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye, all.
Good night. Bye bye.